What is up, everybody? It's Cjplays here, and I'm back with another Sims 3 speed build, and today we're going to be building a luxury starter home. So I'm calling it a luxury starter home because this house is kind of expensive, y'all. I'm talking, I think your Sims will have like 40 something simoleons, 41, 42, 46, somewhere in that range. They're gonna have around like 40 simoleons when they move in. So, you know, it's basically a luxury because it's you know, it's affordable, but not all the way. So I'm building this in a world called Blazeburg, and this world is not yet out. It's, well, technically it is, but it's not completed, if that makes sense. So this world, like the first beta, at the time of this recording anyway, the first beta is out. So if you want to go check out the world, feel free to. It is made by Damien F519, or also known as Gargamel. He asked me if I would be willing to build some lots and some venues for this world, and I was like, definitely. Like, the majority of my videos on YouTube are build videos anyway, or maybe like world overviews. So I love to build, so I was definitely willing to build something for this world. Now, there were some restrictions that I had to keep in mind, like for example, I had to be mindful to not use a lot of different terrain paint types, which normally I don't, but you know, it was like one of the things that Gargamel told me about, because apparently The Sims 3 can run into issues like performance wise if you use a lot of different terrain paints on one lot. So I only chose like two, I want to say, and I was also trying to make sure that none of the shrubs or anything like that clipped into the house. You know, it's just little minor things like that I was trying to like be mindful of. I also had to include an outdoor light, which I don't really ever use outdoor lighting in The Sims 3. The Sims 3 on its own, without like mods and stuff, it's just a really dark game in my opinion. Like sometimes it's kind of hard to see things, so I don't really just think about using like, you know, actual outdoor lights. I will honestly just use debug lights, which I was allowed to use, by the way. I just could not use a whole bunch. If you're watching this video, Gargamel, if I have like too much, just let me know. I'll take some out, but I think I did a pretty good amount. Like, I was pretty mindful of it. This house is a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom house, by the way, and the idea that I had was maybe you could start out with one sim, because usually when I play my own like gameplay, I like to start out with one sim, maybe in a starter home or empty lot, and we'll just build as we go. But I was like, maybe some of y'all may want to, you know, have a family or like a couple of sims already, and then you just want to move in. So if you have 2 sims, you can afford it. I don't know if you have 1 sim. I don't think you can afford this with 1 sim, y'all. But you know, if you have 2 sims, you could definitely, you know, start a family. If you have 3, you could definitely afford the house. You'll see throughout the video that a lot of stuff changes, y'all. Like those trees, for example, I really wanted to use them so bad because they look nice. Usually when I do landscaping in like Sims worlds, if there's surrounding trees in the area, I try to like use those same trees to kind of like put on my lot, just so that my build could blend in with the surroundings. But these trees were kind of expensive. They were like 300 something simoleons, like 380 something like that. So I had to delete them. I think I used a tree from World Adventures or something. I don't know. As you can see, stuff changes. If you look at the thumbnail, or if you stick around for the screenshots, that usually will show you how the house will look when you go to download it. So just keep that in mind. I will include some screenshots at the very end of the video. But I was trying my best, y'all, to stick within the starter home budget, which was hard for me. Usually it's not really that hard, but it was hard today, y'all. You'll see stuff get deleted. I'll like place stuff down. I had to like pause my recording a bunch to like fix some stuff. For example, the wallpaper, because I was pretty sure I chose the same shade of green for the entire house, but for whatever reason it was not looking right. At one point the game was saying that it was the same swatch, and then when I like tested it out, it wasn't. A lot of stuff changes, basically. I did want to use the windows, though, that came with the Showtime pack, because they're not super expensive, and they look really nice. And I kind of, like, forgot they existed, so I wanted to, like, maybe use those for this. And I did use the door from University. Like, if you have Sims that live here and you want to have some extra money for stuff, there's a lot of ways to make this build cheaper. For one, you know, you could definitely delete maybe, like, the bed in the front yard. I chose that bed. It comes with Showtime, and also, I like it because your Sims get, like, I think level 7 energy or something like that, level 5 energy. I forgot the number, but they get a lot more energy from sleeping in that bed versus like one of the ones from the base game. It is a little bit more expensive though, but it's still kind of cheap. Like I think it's like 500 simoleons, so it's not super high. So I was like, let's get that bed, you know, so that way if you have Sims, maybe they have like a kid or something, they can get some sleep and don't have to worry about sleeping for a long period of time, you know. It was good though that I got all the furniture out in the front yard. Normally I don't do that, but I knew that I wanted to make sure I had enough money for stuff, so that was a pretty good thing, you know. I think I almost used just about everything in the front yard. But moving on now, this is just me doing the floor plan. So I had to cut some of it out, y'all, because I was kind of confused and I had to like pause the recording, play around with it. This house is Very big. I think I did make it one tile or a couple of tiles smaller in the kitchen, so it will shrink a little bit. But I wanted to have a lot of space in here because I don't know. I like the idea of having starter houses that you can kind of like build on more, as you go along. So maybe you start out with like a little box or something, and then as you go, you just build onto it and onto it. So I kind of wanted to give you like a house that you really didn't have to build onto if you didn't want to. You could just kind of like fill in the space or redo the floor plan or something like that. Of course, you could always build more onto it if you want, but I kind of just wanted to give you something where like if you wanted to just only live in this house, you could do it. And then if you didn't have enough money, you can just build more onto it or add more onto it. So that was the idea for it. So the kitchen, kind of big in my opinion. Even a couple of these bedrooms are kind of big too. Like the primary bedroom for the parents is huge. I mean, there's, like I said, there's definitely ways to make it cheaper. I wanted to use those lights from Pets so bad, y'all. Like, yeah, no. I think I deleted all of them. I don't even think I kept any of them. I think they all got deleted. This is just me now putting all the furniture in the house. This was kind of easy because, I kind of knew where I wanted everything to go. Originally, this living room area had that little wall that I built out, but I deleted it just to kind of open up the space a little bit. You know what? I did struggle with the countertops. I wanted to use the ones from Ambitions, and they show up for a long time in the video, but I ended up using the ones from the base game. They were cheaper, and, yeah. I was kind of upset though because I didn't really use any upper cabinets. We just did not have it in the budget for that. I did use some pots and pans though, so it's not completely empty over there. I did use one of those big windows over the sink so it lets in a lot of light. What else did I do for the kitchen? Oh, you know what? For the kitchen too, I had to change the tables so many times. Like I wanted to use one of the big ones. I was thinking about using the one from Pets or one of the ones from the base game, and they were just all so expensive, especially this one, y'all. So I was like, you know what, let's just use the little square tile one from the base game. I think it's the cheapest one in the game. We'll recolor it and we'll use like some cheap base game chairs to kind of go around it. Listen, it's a starter home, y'all. It's to get you started playing the game. I know a lot of people out there don't really care about like the price of a house. They'll cheat the money. But for those of you who maybe care about that kind of thing, I was trying to be a little bit mindful. So this is the table that stays for the majority of the video. Like I said, I did end up changing this one out. It was like 500 simoleons or 582, something like that, once I deleted it. So I was like, we need that money back. A lot of me deleting stuff was just trying to have space, or like money to like landscape or maybe like a decorative item or something like that. I did also, because I noticed this room was like really big, so I put a desk. I think I chose the one from University. It's like a cheap one, and I put a chair at it. So maybe if you play the game and you get more simoleons, you can have a computer. You can have it be like a little computer desk or something like that. Or if you just have kids or whatever and they just want to do homework somewhere, you could just have them sit there. So you have options for that kind of thing. And also too, y'all, I really wanted to use that rug that came with Into the Future. If you didn't know, it also functions as like a planter box. So if you have Into the Future, go to the rug category and scroll down towards the bottom, and you'll see these green rugs. They're really cool. I like to use them more so for like, an actual rug. But if you wanted to, you can also plant like harvestables on them and you can grow plants and stuff. So I have like this little generation family that I've been playing on Twitch, and it was winter time in the game. Well, it was like fall, and my sim had harvestables like, apple trees and stuff in the front yard or the side yard, and I was like, I need to keep these because we were flat broke, and I was like, listen, we're not gonna have any money over the winter time outside of his job and dumpster diving. So I was like, we need to get crafty. So I just got one of those rugs and I put it in the back room because like the back room was going to be a nursery, but we didn't have a kit yet. So I was like, listen, we'll just put it in the back room for right now. And I had my little like Grow Pro Station like store content item. And I was like, listen, we're just going to make the back room a temporary greenhouse. So it works out. The only downside is it's a little bit expensive for the rugs, but, it was nice. So instead of using that one for this house, I used the one from the base game. This is honestly like one of my favorite rugs. It's a pretty good size. It's only 100 simoleons, and, you can recolor it to be whatever you want it to be. But moving on, this is the nursery. You might have noticed I've jumped around a lot in this build, but this is the nursery. So I wanted to make sure your Sims had something. I wanted to use a rocking chair, but I ended up deleting it for just one of the regular ones from the base game. I wanted to use those blocks, so if you have a toddler, they can play with something and build some skills. And then also I wanted to use a toy box. I don't ever use this one at all. It's the one in the base game, but I was like, why don't we use it? For one, it was cheaper than like the pirate chest, and two, it has some really cool colors. So we used that instead. And I also recolored the rug down here. And then I also used a baby mobile. It's the one from Into the Future. I really love that one. So I recolored it to be like a little green color. I feel like this is like a really nice like woodland room kind of. So like the design of the crib is like leaves and stuff. So feel free to change anything if you want to. But I kind of just like that for this. But honestly, y'all, I think that might just be it for the build. Oh, there is like a TV in the living room, by the way, but you might already saw that. So, you know, this house, while kind of spacious and a little bit expensive, I think it turned out really good. This is the table that I was telling y'all about. I ended up having to go for a cheaper one. So there's definitely ways to make this house cheaper. Like I said, y'all, delete some stuff. You can cheat the money if you want to, but I really like how this turned out. And hopefully you all will like it too. You know, you don't have to place it in Blazeburg if you don't want to. You can just place it wherever you want. But anyway, y'all, that is all that I have for this video. Please be sure to stick around for the screenshots because like I said earlier, they will more so show you how the house will look when you go to download it. I don't really think I changed too much for the inside of the house. Like landscaping wise, I had to use those 1 simoleon hydrangeas, and I was going to use like that really big shrub. It was like 90 something simoleons, but I was like, we really can't use it. So I changed it for like a tree that was slightly a little bit more expensive, but it was better in my opinion. But anyway, y'all, that is all that I have for this one, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye. Thanks for watching.